This is going to be a real quick video just to show you how to use the Volcanoes Map applet that's in this week's lab. So I've already opened the web page and hopefully yours looks like this. You may have to zoom in or out on the map to see all of this. So you can see on the map there's all sorts of little colorful triangles and there's different types of plate tectonic boundaries. And so those triangles represent volcanoes as you're color coded based on what kind of volcano they are. Now, if you have trouble telling color one from the other, if you click on it, here it goes, it'll tell you. So in this case, this is a shield volcano. It tells you the latitude and longitude positions. It also tells you its peak elevation. You're going to need to know that on a few of these questions. All you have to do is click on those. All right, so the plate boundaries are also color coded. For instance, this blue is divergent, and if we click on it, it'll tell me that too. So if you need to know that, if you can click, that's a pretty easy thing to do. Now, this is a really cool tool that actually creates topographic profiles, which is really, really cool. So I want to show you really quick how to do that. I'm already showing a few of them. Here we go. I'm going to zoom in. Let's see if we can find something good to take a profile of. Here we go. Let's see, what volcanoes are these? Oh, it's the Three Sisters. So you've got the north, let's see, this one would be, that is the North Sister. And there's the South Sister. All right, so these say they are a complex volcano, which means there's a lot going on there. So what I want to do is I want to zoom in where I can see that real nice. And so I can see the outline. Once I get in, it actually starts showing me some topography. And I can see pretty easily where that volcano ends over here, because you can see that the elevation changes all of a sudden. And I can see about where it ends over here. So what I want to make sure is I'm going to click this little ruler tool, because that's going to help me measure it. I'm going to come over here to where kind of the topography changed at the bottom of my volcano. And I'm going to click once. That's a good sign. I want to go right over that peak, and I want to go out to this other side where it changes. And I'm going to double click, and it's thinking, and there we have our topographic profile. Now you did these in lab before when we did the topographic maps lab. So you've seen what these look like. Now, one thing to be wary of is, if you notice, the elevation is always going to be kind of squished. This is called, it's got some skewing of your vertical here. And so your vertical and your horizontal distances are really different. All right, so this thing is only 4 miles wide, but it's over 10,000 feet tall. And if I go over here, it'll tell me, you see where as I zoom across, it actually tells me the elevation. So it looks like it's 247 feet right about there. Yeah, so we're not quite at the peak. The peak is marked there. So I can see just how tall this thing is. All right, so this is pretty common for a stratovolcano, really tall, and not a super wide base, not nearly as wide as, say, a shield volcano. Now, if I want to get rid of this, you can just turn that off, and you're ready to go on your next one. So please feel free to click away. And hopefully that helps you figure out how to do these. And at that point, once I had that topographic profile, I just take a screen capture, whichever way your computer needs it, and you save that and upload it for the lab. Let's look at one other one. Let me think. I want a shield volcano. I want to see if we can find a nice young shield volcano that has a good shape to it. Let's find out. Oh, here we go. So Belknap Crater is a shield volcano. All right, so not nearly as tall. It's much, much shorter. That's okay. But if I just look here, if I look at these topographic lines, this volcano goes way out here and way out here. Looks like there's probably some little cinder cones on top of it, maybe even on the top there. So notice it's but it's got pretty gentle slopes, which is what a shield volcano should have. So that's a really good sign. So let's look at this one. I'm going to make sure and turn my ruler on. I'm going to click on the left side, go all the way across, and double click. Ah, there it is. And you can see that extra little maybe cinder cone on top. But look how nice and gentle those slopes are. And notice here, this is 6 miles wide now. So this is quite a bit wider than that last volcano we looked at. So it's much more spread out. But it only goes up to like, uh, it only goes up to a little over 6,000 feet there, almost 7,000 feet. So it's wider, but it's not any more tall. It's actually shorter. And so you have much more gentle slopes in this case. All right, so hopefully that helps you out to do these a little bit. Let me know if you have any further questions.